Welcome to the Survival Horror Ambience channel. If you like horror and horror stories, subscribe and hit the like button. Tell me in the comments what types of horror stories and movies you enjoy. Now to the stories. Oh, and happy nightmares.
Good evening, listeners. I'm here with Sarah Johnson, a survivor who witnessed the first violent incidents of the neuro rage outbreak. Sarah, thank you for joining us. Can you tell us about your experience?
Thank you for having me. It was a terrifying experience, to say the least. I remember it like it was yesterday. I was walking home from work when I heard shouting and commotion up ahead. As I turned the corner, I saw a group of people attacking each other with unbelievable ferocity. It was like something out of a horror movie. I was in shock, to be honest. I couldn't comprehend what I was seeing. It was as if these people had been possessed by some kind of primal rage. I knew I had to get out of there as quickly as possible, so I ran as fast as my legs could carry me.
That sounds harrowing. What was going through your mind at that moment? How did you manage to escape unharmed?
I was lucky, I guess. I found a back alley and hid until the sounds of violence died down. When I finally ventured back out onto the street, it was like a war zone. There were abandoned cars, broken windows, and bloodstains everywhere. It was like the world had been turned upside down in a matter of minutes.
What was your reaction when you learned that this was just the beginning of a global pandemic?
I was terrified, to be honest. The thought that this could happen on a much larger scale was unimaginable. I immediately called my family and urged them to stay indoors and stay safe. It's been a nightmare ever since.
Thank you for sharing your story with us, Sarah. Our thoughts are with you and all those affected by this crisis.
Thank you. And to everyone listening, please stay safe out there.
The World Health Organization has declared a global pandemic in response to the rapid spread of the neurorage virus. We bring you the latest updates on this critical development. In a historic announcement, the WHO has officially elevated the neurorage outbreak to pandemic status, citing its widespread and uncontrolled transmission across continents. This declaration signals a call to action for nations around the world to intensify their efforts in combating this deadly virus. The decision comes as countries grapple with escalating cases of violence and mounting casualties. Hospitals are overwhelmed, medical supplies are dwindling, and citizens are gripped by fear and uncertainty. In response to the pandemic declaration, governments are implementing unprecedented measures to contain the spread of the virus. Travel restrictions, quarantine protocols, and social distancing guidelines are being enforced in a bid to curb transmission and protect public health. World leaders have issued statements urging calm and cooperation in the face of this global crisis. They emphasize the importance of solidarity and unity in confronting the challenges posed by the neurorage pandemic. However, as the pandemic continues to unfold, questions remain about the effectiveness of current containment efforts and the availability of resources to support overwhelmed healthcare systems. Experts warn that the road ahead will be long and arduous, with the potential for further escalation of the crisis if decisive action is not taken swiftly. The world watches with bated breath as nations come together in a race against time to stem the tide of violence and save lives.
911.
Hello? Oh God, please help me.
What's your emergency?
I'm at home and there's this man.
Ma'am, I need you to stay calm. What's your location and the nature of your emergency?
He's trying to break in. I don't know what to do.
Okay, ma'am. I've dispatched officers to your location. Can you tell me if you're in a safe place?
I'm hiding in the closet. I'm so scared. Please, hurry.
Help is on the way, ma'am. Stay on the line with me. Can you describe the man to me? Do you know him?
No, I've never seen him before. He's banging on the door, screaming. He looks deranged.
I understand, ma'am.
I hear him. He's breaking in.
Try to stay quiet and keep the line open. Officers will be there soon. Ma'am, listen to me. Stay calm and stay quiet. The officers are outside. They're coming to help you. We've lost contact with the caller. Units on scene. Proceed with extreme caution.
Good afternoon, listeners. I'm joined today by Dr. Rebecca Chen, a terrorism expert, to shed light on the motives behind the recent terrorist attack involving the release of the neurorage virus.
Thank you for having me.
Dr. Chen, thank you for joining us. Dr. Chen, what can you tell us about the possible motives behind this heinous act of terrorism?
While it's difficult to speculate without concrete evidence, it's possible that the perpetrators have political or ideological grievances against Western nations.
Do you believe a specific agenda or ideology is driving the perpetrators?
The release of a bioweapon like the neurorage virus could be seen as a form of retaliation or a means to challenge perceived injustices.
What are the potential ramifications of such a terrorist attack on a global scale?
The consequences could be catastrophic. Not only does the neurorage pandemic pose a significant public health threat, but it also has far-reaching implications for global security and stability. The widespread fear and panic generated by the attack could further exacerbate tensions and fuel extremist ideologies.
What measures do you believe should be taken to prevent similar attacks in the future?
Preventing future terrorist attacks requires a multifaceted approach that addresses both the root causes of terrorism and strengthens global counterterrorism efforts. This includes enhancing intelligence sharing and cooperation among nations, addressing socioeconomic grievances that may fuel radicalization, and promoting tolerance and understanding among diverse communities.
Thank you for your insights, Dr. Chen.
Thank you.
That was Dr. Rebecca Chen, providing expert analysis on the motives behind the recent terrorist attack involving the release of the neurorage.
Man, it's been crazy. People freaking out, running wild. You know, with this virus mess, some folks are just looking out for themselves. Stores getting hit like big time. Everything. Essentials, non-essentials, you name it. Folks are just trying to grab what they can. It's survival mode out here. Well, it sucks, you know? You try to keep your head down and stay safe, but you gotta watch your back. Neighbors helping each other out there. We're sticking together, trying to ride out.
Scene of utter pandemonium here in New York City's Times Square, where reports are flooding in of savage attacks on innocent bystanders. Eyewitnesses describe a horrifying spectacle of violence as individuals turn on each other with unbridled aggression. Police struggle to maintain order in the face of seemingly unstoppable assailants. Similar incidents are being reported in cities across the globe, from London to Tokyo. In the streets of London, commuters and tourists alike are fleeing for their lives as the once bustling thoroughfares descend into chaos. And in Tokyo, scenes of mayhem unfold as law enforcement grapples with an unprecedented wave of violence. I spoke with Sarah Johnson, an office worker from Chicago who witnessed the horror firsthand.
Oh, it was nuts, you know? Streets jam-packed, horns blaring, total chaos. Everybody trying to bail. It's like a scene from one of those apocalyptic movies. Plan? Man, there was no plan. We just knew we had to go. Packed our stuff, hit the road, and hoped for the best. Google Maps was useless. Traffic everywhere. Oh yeah, close calls everywhere. Had to dodge abandoned cars, navigate through crowds, all while keeping an eye out for those infected folks. Scary stuff, I tell ya. First off, stay calm. Panicking ain't gonna help. Plan your route in advance if you can, but be ready to switch it up. And of course, keep your gas tank topped. You don't want to be stuck in the middle of nowhere when things get hairy. Just stay safe, y'all. It's rough out there.
The streets are now littered with debris and abandoned vehicles as citizens seek refuge from the violence. Emergency services are stretched to their limits, with sirens wailing in the distance. Experts are baffled by the sudden outbreak of violence, with speculation ranging from a biological agent to a coordinated terrorist attack. Authorities are urging citizens to remain calm and vigilant as they work to contain the chaos.
This is Norman Walter reporting live from the heart of the chaos as the world grapples with a terrifying outbreak of violence. We bring you a detailed update on this unprecedented crisis. The situation continues to deteriorate as the neurorage virus spreads like wildfire, leaving a trail of devastation in its wake. In New York City, once vibrant streets have been transformed into battlegrounds as citizens fall victim to inexplicable acts of aggression. I've just spoken with Dr. Emily Carter, a leading expert on infectious diseases who shed some light on the nature of this deadly virus.
The neurorage virus is unlike anything we've seen before. It appears to hijack the neural pathways, triggering uncontrollable bouts of violence in infected individuals. We believe it was engineered in a lab, possibly as a biological weapon.
The implications of this virus are staggering, with cities around the world descending into chaos. In London, eyewitnesses describe scenes of terror as pedestrians are attacked seemingly at random. I spoke with James Miller, a survivor of one of these attacks, who shared his harrowing experience.
I was just walking to work when out of nowhere, This guy comes at me with this wild look in his eyes. It was like he wasn't even human anymore. I barely escaped with my life.
The streets are now eerily deserted, with only the sounds of sirens and distant screams breaking the silence. Emergency services are overwhelmed, struggling to contain the violence and provide aid to those in need. As the death toll continues to rise, experts are racing against the clock to develop a vaccine or treatment for the neurorage virus. However, with the virus spreading rapidly and no end in sight, the outlook remains grim.
My fellow citizens, esteemed members of the international community, today we face an unprecedented threat to humanity. The outbreak of the neurorage virus has plunged the world into chaos, leaving devastation in its wake. As a nation, we stand in solidarity with our global neighbors in confronting this crisis. Our thoughts and prayers go out to all those affected by this merciless virus, and we extend our deepest condolences to the families who have lost loved ones. In these trying times, it is imperative that we remain united and steadfast in our resolve. We must work together, across borders and boundaries, to stem the tide of violence and bring an end to this nightmare. I assure you, the Chinese government is fully committed to cooperating with the international community to combat the neurorage virus. We will spare no effort in providing assistance and support to those in need, both at home and abroad. Let us draw strength from our shared humanity and rise above this crisis with courage and resilience. Together, we will overcome this dark chapter in history and emerge stronger, more united, and more determined than ever before. Thank you, and may we all find solace in the knowledge that, in times of adversity, we are stronger together. 谢谢.
This is the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, bringing you essential guidelines on how to safeguard yourself and others during the ongoing neurorage pandemic. As the neurorage virus continues to spread globally, it's imperative to implement preventive measures to mitigate the risk of infection. Here are key recommendations endorsed by the CDC. Understanding the nature of the virus and its transmission dynamics is crucial for making informed decisions. Practice good hygiene. Frequent hand hygiene is paramount. Wash your hands thoroughly with soap and water for at least 20 seconds, especially after coughing, sneezing, or being in public areas. Hand sanitizer with at least 60% alcohol can be used if soap and water are unavailable. Maintain physical distance. Practice social distancing by maintaining a distance of at least 6 feet from others, particularly in crowded settings. Minimize close contact with individuals who are sick or showing symptoms of illness. Regularly clean and disinfect frequently touched surfaces in your home and workplace, including doorknobs, light switches, countertops, and electronic devices. Use EPA-approved disinfectants and follow manufacturer instructions. Stay home if sick. If you experience symptoms such as fever, cough, or difficulty breathing, stay home and self-isolate to prevent the potential spread of the virus to others. Seek medical advice if symptoms worsen or if you have underlying health conditions. Follow quarantine guidelines. If you have been exposed to someone with confirmed neurorage infection, or if you have traveled to areas with high transmission rates, adhere to quarantine guidelines recommended by health authorities. Prioritize mental health. Take care of your mental well-being during these challenging times. Stay connected with loved ones, maintain healthy routines, and seek support if feeling overwhelmed or distressed. By following these preventive measures and adhering to public health guidelines, we can collectively contribute to slowing the spread of the neurorage virus and protecting the health and safety of our communities. For more information and updates on the neurorage pandemic, visit the CDC website or contact your local health department. Together, we can overcome this global health crisis. This has been a public service announcement from the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Stay vigilant, stay informed, and stay safe.
The mysterious virus gripping our nation continues to baffle experts. This enigmatic pathogen possesses the unprecedented ability to reanimate the deceased, transforming them into aggressive and relentless entities. The virus not only poses a direct threat to public safety, but also triggers a ripple effect across various aspects of our society. Afflicted individuals exhibit erratic and violent behavior, challenging our understanding of infectious diseases. Scientists are working around the clock to decipher the origins of the revenant syndrome, aiming to uncover its mechanisms and develop effective countermeasures. The virus's impact extends beyond the health crisis, creating challenges in communication networks, food supply chains, and urban landscapes. It forces communities to adapt, innovate, and face the unprecedented challenges posed by this evolving threat. Authorities are urging citizens to exercise extreme caution as the situation rapidly evolves.
Good evening, folks. Tonight's bringing some serious news. People in New York City are on the move because of a concerning virus. This unprecedented pathogen has the unsettling ability to reanimate the deceased, transforming them into aggressive and relentless entities. The city's in a tough spot right now. People are scared and just want to get away. The virus is spreading fast and it's becoming hard to manage. The roads are filled with cars trying to leave. Families are stuck in traffic, hoping to find a way out and stay safe. It's a bit chaotic out there. Evacuation centers are crowded and helicopters are working hard to help out. It's challenging, but everyone's keeping a positive outlook and trying to get through it.
With traditional food supply chains collapsing, innovative solutions are springing up across the nation. Urban farming initiatives are gaining momentum in response to the scarcity of food. Abandoned lots and rooftops are being transformed into makeshift farms, cultivating crops to feed the growing number of survivors. Local communities are banding together, pooling resources and sharing agricultural knowledge. Victory gardens are sprouting up in the most unexpected places, providing fresh produce in a landscape dominated by fear and uncertainty. The shift towards urban farming is not only addressing the immediate food shortage, but is also fostering a sense of resilience and self-sufficiency among survivors. In the face of adversity, humanity's spirit prevails. For more on how communities are adapting and thriving,